Hello, welcome to week 3 of my personal season in Prepared Attack. This week is the first week where we are playing, at least in the Prepared Attack, the Mind Read and Galaxy Brain divisions, we are playing across divisions, so I am playing someone in the Galaxy Brain division this week. That someone is Choc. Choc has a fancy little team, which is kinda rally, kinda not. Lots of spirit attackers, lots of really bulky beasties that can take some hits. It's been an interesting one to prep for. Obviously, Waddle, Superlero, Tortanker, all very good at sticking around. Demolipede can put on a bit of the hurt, but also can help support some of the offensive threats on this team, especially Zephyr and Surgus, along with Dugout. So lots of spirit attackers, a couple body attackers, and one mind attacker in the Tortanker. And without further ado, let's get into how I approached building for this week, because I am a little late getting to the match. I decided, kind of on a whim last night, that I am in fact actually going to go kind of full spirit this week. It doesn't look like it, but this is a full spirit attacking team, or a mainly full spirit attacking team. We don't have the Crabberay here this week, because I felt that between Zephyr and Surgus, it was just going to have too hard a time staying on the field, even with hits from Waddle coming out, potentially, and Dugout, of course. But I'm running Rally this week. I've known that Rally was a mode my team can run, and that was something I brought in. I had definitely considered quite a bit during the draft. Was not expecting it to be a week when I don't bring Crab, but nonetheless, here we are. We have an annoying Noisard again, similar to the one last week, this time with Rally and a slightly different defensive spread. With the main spirit attackers here being Hopra and Diggum. Hopra doing a whole lot of damage with Thriller. I am glad to be able to run Thriller this week. Often I run into someone who has Dread, and thus Jazz isn't really an effect that is all that useful. At least the past couple weeks I've run into a Dread user, but I think Thriller is definitely probably the ideal attack to run here on Hopra. Gonna be putting out, on average, I think a little more damage than Bring the Heat. Maybe a little less damage once it gets super high up, but in terms of serving, this is gonna be the most damage it can do that isn't super commit, and I really don't want to be stuck on the field with Hopra because I don't actually have any redirection. I decided against Clamor Noisard because the team overall is pretty bulky. Aside from one stat, and we'll get to that. Masquerie here, very supportive. Faith Rally Reach Shot. Intended to sit there next to the spirit attackers and just help them boost a bunch, keep Rally up, and Reach Shot, obviously a very useful sideways move. Hopra having Net Rush to move itself to the front as well, if I so desire, but also being able to have Drum, because this is, all in all, still quite a bulky team, despite the fact that I've invested fairly heavy into a few offenses here and there. I have Rumpus. Oh, I need to change the Masquerade's trait. Let's do that real quick. Glad I caught that. I thought about it a minute ago. Oh, my Silex are back. Anyway. Masquerade and Hopra both have Rumpus, and I do have Diggum here. And that's gonna help with survivability, which I think is going to be fairly important here. Moving on to Diggum. Refresh Cook, mostly invested in Spirit Attack and Torch Pass. Is that fully trained? I forget what... That Diggum might be short a couple coaching points. Let me check on that. But yeah, Cook here, obviously super useful. Yeah, okay, I do need to use a conditioning pass real quick. Glad I noticed that was not at 92. Which it should have been. Cool. Refresh to shore up allies' HP, Cook to deal a bunch of damage, hopefully, and lower stuff, weaken stuff up for Hopra, and Torch Pass because it's Torch Pass. Lastly, we have a Boulder here, fully body attack invested, Rocket, Exhaust, Provoke. Obviously need to provoke somewhere on the team, and this should be able to stick on the field a whole bunch. Not entirely sure, it might be a little tricky, but either way, I definitely want the control Noizard because Choc has a lot of fairly supportive beasties, so being able to make the attacker tired or the supporter tired will mean I can inhibit his damage output pretty effectively, especially when it comes to the one mind attacker on the team in Tort Anchor. You'll notice I have really not invested very heavily into mind defense on anyone. I've given things just a few points here and there. Noizards are just leftover points after hitting the 129 mark for, I believe, like a +3 contest from Surgus at the net. Whereas the others, Dig'em at 84 mind defense can take a +2 dump outside of rally. The others can take a +2 dump inside of rally. That's, of course, a boosted dump. So the 90 base power one, not the 60 base power one, if Choc has 2 actions. I am a little concerned about that possibility because obviously my team is not the best in mind defense outside of Hydrome. So I won't be surprised to see a mind attacking Tort Anchor this week. And it could potentially be next to a tactical pass to Molipede, so I did want to sort of have that in the back of my mind. But either way, I believe Choc should have a lobby going. So let me hop right in. There we are. I forgot that Choc was Eggman. That is fantastic. Alright, Choc is serving this week. I'm on counter serve, so I'm gonna sort of play it by ear, see what he's brought. Gotta get the time limit set to extended. But other than that, the counter serve is probably going to be Noizard and one other, but I could also play it by ear, depending on what we see coming. Something I didn't mention, Boulder is steadfast this week to deal with the potential of a wall breaker Demolipede, which I think is fairly likely to come. No Demolipede at all. Okay, we see 3 spirit attackers here. That's not great. I expect it'll probably be... What would Dugout serve with? I think we might see a Cook serve here. Dugout is probably serving with Cook, so I think I might want to lead with Glacier and Skies here, Boulder and Noizard. And just start clicking some rockets. That's my instinct to start, at least. Obviously doesn't start with my spirit attackers on the field, but since this is such a spirit heavy team, it's going to be easy to switch in any of the ones in the back because I've invested so much. No Tort Anchor either. So my mind defense points were wasted, unfortunately. But let's see. Yeah, we do see Dugout up front, and it is Cook Quickset Counter next to Waddle with Quickset, Clearfield, Tornado Ball, Overwork, very fun. Love seeing Overwork. Rally, Cut Shot, Bring the Heat, Surgus, Air Blast, D-Force, Blaze, Zephyr, that's fun. And then Quick Tag, Demolish, Introduce on the Supalaria, which is Forager. Fully invested in Spirit Bulk, which was a smart play. I believe the Dugout is also super invested. Waddle, kind of invested, but the Zephyr and Sephirin, I am pleased to see, do not have any Spirit Attack investment, which is very nice to see. I'm just gonna start right away with a, Steadfast is actually gonna be super useful here. I'm gonna force the waddle to, oh, I did not mean to do that, actually. Either way, I meant to do it the other side, but waddle can't attack now, that's fine. So I don't need to really click rally at all. Just gonna start getting some rockets off. Probably hitting the waddle first, because if it moves forward, I really don't want the quick set going off. And I don't want Dugout to have boosted counter. Counter's still doing a fair amount of damage here. I think here I'm really interested in blocking. I think what's going to happen here is it's going to be volley clear field and then probably another cook. So I'd like to either get the double provoke off or... I have my sports speed set to slowest from watching replays, I think. I can click through it though, at least. Okay. No, not exhaust. Let's provoke the waddle real quick. I think what I'm gonna do here is rattle into the waddle. Okay, we see Super Arrow come in. Getting that thing stressed is super useful because it means it's gonna have a hard time like getting off the field. Counter here would knock out Glacier, but I can tag in Dig 'em, which is what I think I'm gonna do here. I'd like Noisart to stay healthy here. And Noisart is at least -1, so... Yeah, volley into cook, makes sense. Counter only doing 48 and 32 in the back, so I could actually refresh and rocket here, but I think just getting the Spirit Defense drops is probably going to be better. So let's click exhaust. And Cook over here, start lowering Dugout's Spirit Defense a whole bunch. Because I'm ideally going to tag in Hopper here. Oh, right, I had Friendship in. Okay. We see the block. That's totally fine. Yeah, Hopra not taking very much damage here at all. Counter doing a lot to Dig 'em, annoyingly. But either way. Right. Yeah, we see the cook into Hopra. Thriller here knocks out Dugout, so it does basically have to switch. The question is, do I want to do that or do I want to click drum? And the answer is, I think... Air Blast not doing too much damage. Cut Shot, Bring the Heat, not knocking us out. So I think I'm just going to click Drum here and cook the Supalero again. Get some healing on the board. I probably should have attacked into that slot now that I think about it, but the quick set, quick tag would actually have been really bad, so I'm glad I didn't. Waddle's defense is lower now, which is super useful. Quick set Demolish here, not gonna do all that much damage. I'm just gonna tag in Masquery here to see if I can get a Faith off. Clear Field, makes sense. Volley and Tornado Ball. That'll pull Diggum back in the front row, which is super interesting. As I can start giving it offensive boosts and actually outputting a decent amount of damage into this Supalero here. And I definitely do want to hit the Supalero. Not many hard decisions so far. Boulder's about to come back up, which is nice. Okay, we do see the Zephyr come back in. Quick set Air Blast. Jazz Air Blast does unfortunately knock out Diggum as it is uninvested. So I do need to potentially move back here. Those calcs are with Friendship. I could also make the extremely silly play and no, I think I go Hopper here, honestly. I go Hopper here. Okay, we're seeing a Tornado Ball anyway. Double Clear Field Free Ball. Desperate Force. Makes sense. Okay. Thriller here knocking out Waddle because it's at -2. That's really quite fantastic. Dugout could come in, but I'm not concerned about that. If Waddle blocks it, survives, but then it's just next to Zephyr, which can't really attack, so I'm not particularly concerned about that. And Hopper's getting some healing here from Rumpus after being hit, which is nice. Anything that comes in taking the same amount of damage amusingly. Oh, okay, we just get a point then. Not bad. In that case, I'm definitely heading into the Waddle here. No sideways move here. Probably gonna be a Tornado Ball coming out. I think I'm gonna send Diggum back in, actually. Or I'd like to have Diggum back in. I do also want a Spirit Attacker on the field, though. Oh, never mind. Hold on. With these two out, I'd like Boulder on the field because they're both gonna take a lot of damage from Rocket. We see Quick Set and Volley and Tornado Ball. Yeah, so Glacier not taking much damage here. Also not dealing much damage. That is a surprisingly low amount. Reach shot here could make our good friend the Zephyr shook if they don't switch. But I think I'm just gonna use that and then raw walk up. No, that doesn't make sense. Let's provoke the waddle here and just click reach shot. The Zephyr won't be jazzed anymore after the offense turn. Okay. We see the Surgus come in. Cut shot not doing too much damage. After rally it'll be doing a lot more, but not too much. I can't unfortunately move Glacier forward here. Yeah, we're gonna see rally cut shot here. I'm gonna make sure that thing can't click Blaze on me. The Surgus is gonna do kind of an obscene amount of damage to pretty much anything, unfortunately. But Dig'em is able to click Torch Pass at least. Air Blast does knock out Dig'em. Air Blast actually gets a point here if I don't do something about it. So I think by that metric, I'm actually just gonna... No, you know what? I'm fine letting Scurry go down, I think. Single block, okay. Could be double rally air blast here. The Zephyr can't blaze, which is important. The body defense is being invested does mean that Rocket really isn't doing very much damage, which I'm kind of not happy about. Cut shot just knocking out Glacier, unfortunately. Bring the Heat, doing not all that much damage from the back row. I'm gonna send in Hopera, I think, so that I can threaten some damage on the counter serve. Oh, and Hopper goes down here, which is actually not good. I was not expecting that slot to be hit there because it wasn't a guaranteed point otherwise. So I need to reposition here real hard. I unfortunately do just lose 2 points here, which is not good. Having Cook on the field will be helpful. I think I didn't play into Cook hard enough this game. And I maybe should have focused harder on getting Dig'em in. Let's Cook into the Zephyr here. If it moves forward and wants to try and air blast at me, I'm probably screwed. If Choc sees that that kind of threatens the entire game here, that's a bit of a problem. But flitting was like a very good bring. Okay, Surgus moves forward, which I'm not as worried about, because I can block it. Bring the heat cut shot, neither of which are, but I can also torch pass here, which I don't think I'm going to do yet because I might as well just block. We see Zephyr come to the front. I'm kind of regretting not bringing corner shot. I had considered bringing corner shot, but didn't end up going for it. This is a bad situation. I definitely have to hit the Zephyr. And I think I have to hit it with a rattle here. Oh, we see the dugout in. Okay, that's actually not great. But at least it can't click quick set. Counter does unfortunately kill either of these two, but I can block it. The question is, who's getting attacked? This is a 50-50 for the game, unfortunately for me. I really should have gone with some Spirit Investment. I was expecting more body attackers, mainly the Demolipede, because Choc's been running a lot of Wall Breaker this season. If counter goes into the Noizard here, it KOs regardless of whether I block or not. I think it's more likely the Noizard getting hit here. Nope. Okay. Okay. Really rough game one. I'm gonna serve game two. I think getting a cook-off early was really important. It is wild that my team with 4 out of 5 beasties being almost fully invested in spirit defense, and the 5th one still quite heavily invested, is having trouble breaking the spirit team. Man. I could also lead these two. I think part of my problem was Hopra got off the field, and I need to make sure Hopra doesn't get off the field. I have a couple options. I serve with Dig'em with Cook, or I serve with Noizard and start locking things down. And I think I'm gonna try the Noizard. Because starting like looping Rattle, I think should be fairly helpful for shutting down Choc's game plan. We see the lead of Surgus and Zephyr again. These two being the counter-serve duo. The question is which one is going to walk up. I think it's more likely to be the Surgus. If it's the Zephyr, that's bad. Okay, I was correct. So we can see an air blast here. But I can also just stinky the Zephyr and force one of these two to switch out, because part of my issue last game was these two just stuck on the field together and were doing a lot of damage. Okay, we see an air blast right off the bat. I'm not worried about that at all. Net Rush Thriller doing a lot of damage here. But the question is, do I want that or do I want Drum? And I think the answer is... I need damage. If Waddle comes in, oh well, I'll deal. Okay, we see Waddle in the back, interesting. So, probably a clear field and a Tornado Ball here. The question is, into what? I can prevent Surgus from attacking next turn again by clicking Stinky here, which is nice. See a front row Tornado Ball. Masquerie comes in, which is a little annoying. But I have successfully forced out the Surgus. And with no Torch Pass or really any way to heal beyond Quickset here, I'm in, like, pretty good position. No sideways move as well, so I can just camp the back row now. Absolutely 100% clicking Rattle into the Waddle here. We see the Super Arrow come in. Demolish not doing much damage to anything. So I can just tag probably Hopra back in here. We could see a quick tag into Air Blast here, but I'm really not concerned about that if that happens. It's not doing very much damage. And again, the Waddle's going to be weak here. We might see the Dugout come in, so I think I do want to attack into the Waddle. Despite the fact that that would maybe allow a Blaze if Zephyr decides to walk up here. Net Rush Faith Thriller doing plenty of damage to the Waddle. We see a block. Anyway. No one's getting forced out here, which is nice. I definitely want Dig'em in here. Both for clicking Cook purposes and for clicking Torch Pass into Hopra next turn purposes. I see the Air Blast into Masquerie. Interesting. Faith here for sure. I'm unsure if I would like to click Rally here. Jazzed Air Blast, unfortunately, is on the table. And that will not take out Masquerie in the back row. But if I set up Rally, I think it will. I'm not 100%. But let's weaken it some and then just probably Torch Pass into Hopra here. We see Dugout come in. Okay. So another quick set on the table. Dugout not particularly threatening here. I kind of hate clicking torch pass, if I'm perfectly honest, at this point. But unfortunately, the Dig'em will go down if I don't. Although I can just move to the back row and continue clicking cook here. And this does get me a refresh if the Dig'em gets attacked, yeah. So I can click refresh and click faith again, and that's pretty useful. More cooking. Just gradually chipping down Choc's team as much as I can while keeping the health of my beasties as good as possible. We see Supalero come in, so that can quick tag into Surgus. Interestingly enough, no way to knock out the Dig'em here, so I'm actually gonna move Masquerade forward because I see exactly what's coming. Yep. There we go. That was, I think, a fairly telegraphed play, and I, in fact, get a free point here, which is nice. I think setting up Rally is probably a bad idea. As much as I would like to do it. I have a bit of a read to make here, actually, because what I really don't want to happen is I really don't want this Surgus to go down. So the question is the Surgus going to move to the side or not? I think it's a better idea to hit this lane, because if not, if the dugout comes in, it's really bad for me, or if that happens and the Waddle comes in and clicks Quickset. I'm gonna cook into the Zephyr for sure, because I don't want a clear field and an air blast going on in the off in the same turn. Surgus is still on 4, which is super nice. Here I torch pass into Hopra for sure. I think Masquerade's going down, but I'm absolutely fine with that. I can just send Noizard out and start clicking rally boosted thrillers, which I think is going to be pretty strong, if I'm perfectly honest. But yeah, getting Surgus down low early was actually extremely important, because it's the sideways move on the team. It means I can chill in the back row and thus take lots less damage, especially from this Zephyr that I can't block. Very much regretting not bringing a body team, though, I think. Okay. We're gonna see a Tornado Ball. Yeah, reads the torch pass into Hopra. But I am able to click Rocket here, which is going to do quite a decent amount of damage. Kind of regretting running so much Rally now. I considered having an attacking move on the Masquerade. I had Stomp and Reach Shot and Rally on it and Faith, I think, in the builder for a bit, but I think I'm gonna provoke and Reach Shot here, actually. Yeah, we see the dugout come in, so this means it has to click Cook if anything. I can start probably putting the hurt onto this waddle a little bit. I think I'd like to keep Hopra high because it is my best spirit defender and also my biggest damage dealer. So I'm going to send in Noizard. Start dealing some more damage to this waddle, hopefully. Either that or I could rattle something, which I think is probably honestly a better idea. Rattling this dugout would be nice. With that said, though, rattling the dugout would give it a quick-setted counter this turn, so I think I'm probably gonna hit provoke at it instead. And again, just damage the waddle here. Oh, especially if the Zephyr comes in, that's good, because now it can't click a Jazzed Air Blast. Hard to say what's coming out here. I think either way my play is to Stinky, I'm just not sure which of these two it is. And I think the answer is I'd like it to be the dugout so that I can hit them this upcoming turn. We see Blaze to drain the Zephyr. So, Choc is gonna really try and, go survival mode for a while here. Which I am fine with, because that means I can just start clicking Rattle for free, and this Noizard is going to be able to stay in here. And I think I'm just gonna... Okay, we see Circus go down as well. That's actually quite good, because it means if I get a point at any point here, that's the game. Yeah, let's chip this dugout. We see Supalero in. It cannot knock out Noizard. Yeah, Supalero not knocking out Noizard, so I either want... I think I want Hopra in. Because now would be a great time to start setting Rally. Okay, we see a Tornado Ball coming out, I'm guessing here, into the Noizard, which I'm fine with. Especially if it sends out the Masquery. Because that means I get Faith and Rally off here and can just probably win the game on the spot. Yeah, I knock out the Waddle, or... This is a 50-50 here. I think the Waddle's walking forward here. If it doesn't, that's fine. We see the Supalero. Okay, I could have clicked Reach Shot there. Ooh, this is a weird one. It's gonna be a Tornado Ball. The question is where. And I think it's going to be Hopra. If I swap for Dig'em, my understanding is I'll get Hopra right back out. And the answer to that is yes. Thriller getting a kill on either here. I kind of want to go for the reach shot. Because the Zephyr is still low. If I get... Yeah, okay. There we go. 1-1. Okay. I just realized our lobby code is pickle. That's awesome. Okay, Choc serving here. So, again, my things are, I need to... Let's save Boldler for a bit later. And maybe for, like, switching in on Tornado Balls or something. I think... what did I even leave last game? I, like, don't remember. I think I'm gonna lead Hopper Masquerade. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, we see the Cook lead. This is gonna start some 50-50s right away. I could also be silly and move Masquerade forward, but I think having Masquerade in the back is probably a better idea. Yeah, we see Cook into Hopra, which I'm fine with. I'm just gonna start clicking some damage into this dugout because I'd really like some damage on this dugout. Jazzed counter doing a lot of damage, but blockable, I believe. So I'm just gonna no fear it this time, and let's do some math. Okay. Yeah, jazzed counter not that threatening, honestly. As opposed to this front row thriller, which is going to continue coming out. Yeah, we see the quick set counter into the Hopra. I get a block here, so that means I can... Oh, wait. What's the math on that? Oh, I didn't calc front row. Damn. Okay. Well, that's really bad. I think I can reach shot here. Something tells me I have a free reach shot here. If I don't, I really don't lose all that much. Nope. Okay. Choc sees it coming. Front row Cook doing a decent amount of damage here, but let's send our Noizard out. And start locking things down. Oh, I should have gone Boldler, really. Okay, we see counter into the Noizard, interesting. Yeah, the dugout drains itself, which makes sense. think as nice as Cook would be here, this Circus is coming in, and I do want to probably make it tired. I think I focused a little too much on the waddle, maybe, and I should really be focusing on preventing anything that isn't the waddle from doing things. So let's try a bit of that. Man, that miscalc is gonna really cost me. Okay, we see the Zephyr in. Jazzed Air Blast here, of course, knocking out Dig'em, but Hopra is back up, which is nice. Yeah, I think I just go Hopra here. We do see the Jazzed Air Blast. And here now I hit the waddle, for sure. Okay, we see Supalero in. Waddle is angry here. Quick tag into Circus isn't really threatening. So I can just kind of block. If Choc clicks Tornado Ball into Hopper here, I'm actually extremely fine with that, because it means I can Torch Pass more easily later. We see a Demolish, yeah. Introduce into the Zephyr, which is kind of rough. Waddle's gonna be tired here. If I smack the Supalero, how much is that? 61. Not exactly an ideal amount of damage, but not nothing. So by that reasoning, I think I'd like to click Rattle. And into the Supalero, just, again, forcing some switches. Not making really very much progress out of that, unfortunately, but Air Blast here, I can go straight out into Glacier and hopefully start doing some real damage. Oh, we see Blaze though. Yeah, okay. No, I've thrown this one. This one's over. I don't think I can come back. Well, we get Dig'em in, and we can see how that goes. I have Rhythm up for about as many turns as I possibly could. I'm kind of regretting not bringing Corner Shot on Wizard. I'm not gonna lie. Demolish, really unfortunate for me, if I'm perfectly honest. Not happy with how I played this one. Cook useful, obviously. Expect we see a tornado ball here. A tornado ball will bring Hopra in, which is super nice. With that said, I'm clicking Stinky. Hopper conveniently won't go down here, so I can just get Diggum back in. Thriller from the front row here will knock out. Oh, this is rough. This is real rough. Jazz Cut Shot, not gonna KO things, but it'll put me in a very bad position. If Surgus comes in here, which I think it is likely to do. We see the Supalero instead. That's pretty ideal, honestly. Introduce onto the Zephyr makes sense. I can provoke this Waddle here, which is super nice, and just rattle over here. Okay. Ooh, Zephyr comes in that slot, which I really do not appreciate, but hey, we're making some progress finally. I can get Diggum in safely here. No Tornado Ball on the field. I don't think the Noizard's getting attacked ever here. Oh, right, Blaze. Well, if I got this wrong, it's game, but I didn't get it wrong, so it's not game. Okay. Supalero is going to be tired if it doesn't tag out, so I should just rattle over here. I think the correct play is to tag out Supalero, unfortunately, and I think Choc will probably see that. Yeah. So that's not great for me. With that said, I can prevent a possible front row attack. I can prevent a cut shot by attacking into the Zephyr slot here. So I'm absolutely doing that. Supalero back in again. Hate this thing. I can't walk Diggum forward as much as I'd like to. I think I need to Torch Pass now. Thriller doing a lot of damage. I could also go to Masquery. That's another option I have. Or I could click Stinky. Oh, it's hard. I'm gonna torch pass now. Okay. Waddle's in the back row. That's quite nice. How much is Thriller doing up here? I can click drum. And let's just rattle into the Waddle. Sit Hopper on the front row, get some blocks off. Okay, we see Supalero in, so it's a superposition of everything, which is really lovely, and I hate everything. But a smart switch in the event that I did attack into it, which I then didn't. It is going to click Demolish here, I'm almost positive, so I can probably just block it, if I'm perfectly honest. Oh, no, we see a Tornado Ball. Okay. Oh, that sends in Masquerade. Makes sense. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Would having a pre-ball serve after this be really bad? Important questions to ask. I think the answer to that question is yeah, probably. Actually, no, I don't think it would be. If Surgus comes in, then it's not great. But I don't think Choc's moving up here. Choc moved up. That's fine. No quick set clickable this turn. Demolish, not really that much of a threat. I'm actually gonna... I'm gonna go Hopper here. Do I want to go Hopper here? That's a hard call. Front row Rocket's not doing all that much damage. I'm really shocked at how little it does. I think I'd like to continue the Rattle Lock. Quick tag into Surgus. Interesting. And free ball. I'm really kind of wishing I had Provoke here. Either way, rattle into the Circus here should be pretty good. We see a block. But Rally can't go up here, which is good. I'd really, really like to get Boldler in, but I'm not sure I can afford to. But also I'd really, really like to get Boldler in. This might be a terrible play. Quick set cut shot here. Doing a lot of damage to Masquery. Provoke the Waddle. Click Rocket. Deal some damage. Just don't let Rally go up. That's the big thing at the moment. We see the Zephyr. Not great. Air Blast taking out anything not named Noizard. So I do unfortunately have to switch into Noizard. I don't think I have this one. If Circus tags in here, it's bad. Yeah, I needed to keep the lock going, I think. If Circus comes in, it's bad, but I'm gonna do my best. Okay, we see Dugout in instead. So in that case, I'm glad with who I clicked into. Jazzed Air Blast here, doing a lot of damage, but shouldn't, by my calculations, knock out Boltler. Zephyr also going to go down here, so I can't afford to click Stinky. I cannot afford to click Stinky. That is the one thing I really cannot afford to do. I need to go into Dig 'em first so that I can then Torch Pass into Hopra, potentially. Yeah, we see the quick set, we see the Air Blast, I assume. Into Glacier, doesn't kill. I can't exhaust here as much as I'd love to. Can I exhaust here? Honestly, maybe I can exhaust here. If I could turn this into a situation, I can hit the Dugout here. It's risky, but I think I can hit the Dugout here. No, then there's a chance that Circus comes in if I do that. And then clicks Cut Shot, so I have a 50-50 either way. I'm gonna exhaust here so that I have any semblance of a shot. These two are lowered now. I'm gonna be serving with Cook next. Nothing's really knocking out Hopra here because Friendship is a good trait. We see Quick Set. Oh, right, it's gonna be Cut Shot. Yeah, okay. Good games. Oh, that was a rough matchup. All right, first loss of the season. A little salty about it, but it is entirely on my team building. I think, to be fair, I don't know if I could have brought a much better team to deal with this, because I think the one thing I could have done is put more spirit defense on Diggum. But these were definitely the 5 to bring against an extremely heavy spirit team. I just maybe should have leaned more into the body attacking side of things with Masquerie. I also don't think I played super great, but either way, Choc played fantastically. Let's go see it. Let's go have an interview. Hello, man. You wrecked me this week.
So, I feel like I was playing a game of chess, except I had like a knight, a bishop, a rook, and all that. You just had like 4 pawns and a queen. And that queen was terrifying. Yeah. Hopper really did a lot in game 2, and not much. I was shocked by how little damage Boldler was doing. Yeah, I invested almost everything full defense because I was
full body defense.
Because I was expecting maybe a crab array, maybe like a surprise vigor beam hydrome or something. So I went full body defense on almost everything. Yeah, I noticed. I'm like, there's no spirit defense on this Surgus or this Zephyr. Yep, it's true. And so I went spirit. I considered bringing a spirit crab for a while, but decided that was probably a bad idea. Yeah, the spirit defense is way too low on that thing. I mean, you just run counter agile shield, but yeah, that's true too. Yep. Man, you just had so much. I think game 2, I think I played really well. The other games, I think I just didn't manage to get the lock off for long enough to make any meaningful progress against your team, which had 3 very strong attackers as opposed to my 1. And I was hoping my stall would be better. It was not good enough, and I didn't see the blaze coming, I'll be perfectly honest. Yeah, well, the big thing is the front row. Or the fact that I could get to front row. My winning position was getting 2 healthy beasties to the front row with Hopper off the field. If I got there, I could control the entire game because there was almost no safe space for you to get it in. And you did. Yeah, so that's why 3rd game, I was like, I can move up to the front, I can quick tag the Surges in, and then I can just free ball. If they go to Hopra, I can double block, and then I can start controlling the game from there. And if they don't go to Hopra, then I just have so much pressure. Yeah, but I had corner shot for a while on my noise art, and I am really regretting not keeping it. That would have been huge, because it would have forced me to walk back, and now I have to guess between, are you going to go for a corner shot free point, or are you going to go for big Hopra damage? Yeah, I did also lose a 50-50 in the second game of like, in I think the last game, there was a reach shot, which you read, and I was very sad about that. Well, that was the turn where I was like, all I need to do is get to the front row. I don't have to do any damage this turn. I just need to get to the front row and reposition. So I walked into the reach shot, and then I walked up and freeballed anyways. Because I just needed the position. I figured the double front row position. Game 1, I identified the double front row position was the winning position for me. In game 2, you didn't let me have it because you eviscerated the Surgus at the very beginning, and that was one of my 3 key pieces just down for almost the entire game. The Surgus was the one that I really needed down because it had a sideways move. Once it was down, I was able to just sit in the back row and chill all game. Before that, it was a problem. And then, funny, again, we see it coming in the last game and me just utterly forgetting about the cut shot. The Surgus move pool changed, changed so many times. I have like 7, 8, 9 revisions of this team where I'm just like, do I go contest because everything's so spirit heavy on their team? Do I go cut shot to threaten the front? Is the boulder just going to sit in the front and be too chunky to take out anyways because I can't phase it with tornado ball? And eventually I ended up on cut shot, bring the heat instead of cut shot contest, because in testing I found that somehow the serve just always ended up in a serving position. I couldn't get it out of the serving position, so I needed a serve. You seem to test your teams a lot more than I do. I did. You have no idea the theory crafting. I just did a bunch of calcs. Oh, nice. So I was really close to selling off my Supalero for Bin Diva. Oh, that's interesting. Another quick set user because you didn't have enough yet. Well, that's the thing too, is this is a quickset team, and the quickset wants like damage diversity, right? If everything's a spirit, like I could just run Faith. I mean, getting the front row is nice, but the whole benefit to me of Jazz is that it works with all three attack types, right?
Yes.
But the thing was, it had quickset, it had provoke, it had all sorts of fun supporting moves. It was a little like defensively not as great. It didn't have the introduce shenanigans, but it had Thief or the trait for Thief, and most to get to the front row very easily. And most importantly, there's a really funny synergy I found where, because you had a lot of really good ability-wise beasties, like if you brought the Hydron with Restoration, for example,
it has Echo Strike.
Yeah, Echo Strike, Majesty onto a Surges that has
Defiant.
The other trait. Yeah, Defiant, and then buff the Surges on
You
turn
shouldn't
1.
be telling us about this. You should be holding all of this back and doing it next week and utterly screwing the next person over instead of putting this all out in a video.
The problem is, if you watch my playback, one of the first things I say is, I got Surges and Supalero on the chopping block, and one of them just might be getting fired today, but they both did their jobs.
They both did their job. Demolish was so annoying for me because it meant I just couldn't keep Drum on the field. I also had so many dead move slots because I realized after game 1, I'm like, I can't click Rally. I cannot click Rally. I was hoping I would be able to click Rally. I could not click Rally.
Yep. And honestly, the funny thing is, because I had a lot of counters. I have a lot of terrain control on my team, which is really nice. But one of the things was I was really, really close. It was literally for the sake of testing Surges is why I brought Surges. But I was really close to bringing Demolipede instead. Don't have to worry about setting Rally. 2 Demolish users and a Clearfield user.
I was expecting the Demolipede. I was expecting the Tort Anchor, and neither of them came.
Yeah, so I also know that you do your homework. I know that you do your homework, guys. Like, they're gonna watch my sets. They're gonna see this Tort Anchor. They have low mind defense. They're gonna see
much. I was just thinking, this Tort Anchor is really good into my team.
Yeah, I had several revisions. Let me hit team setup. I think the very first version I had was Waddle, Supalero, Demolipede, Tort Anchor, Hog.
Yeah, that's more what I was expecting to come.
Yeah. But I really wanted to see if the Surge would work, and I was like, I haven't run full Rally yet. Surely they won't expect me to run full Rally.
That is exactly the thought I had. I was like, I haven't run Rally yet. Surely they won't expect Rally. Yeah. And it worked out a lot better for you than it did for me.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're going to set Rally for me, thanks.
I had 24 Spirit Defense in Noizard, 27 Spirit Defense in Boldler, 30 in both Masquerie and Hopra, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah. The bird is crazy. I think flitting is cracked. I think it's so insane.
Incredibly good. It's incredibly good.
With Supalero Waddle, if I swap in my bird to the slot that is, like, if I have Supalero Waddle on the field and I introduce that bird, you're either hitting the bird and getting no tempo, or you're hitting the Waddle and you're eating a Blaze, Jazz,
Yep. I forgot about Blaze at least twice this match, and I'm just like, damn.
I forgot about Reach Shot the second game. I so confidently switched. I was like, all right, I can save this. Oh.
Yeah, and then the third game you remembered, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did. The third game I remembered. Yeah, I've had enough getting sideways on the tournament last weekend too. I lost like two sets to getting sideways, so I better learn eventually.
I am very fond of clicking the sideways move, I think.
Same.
Yeah, man. I'm like, you definitely just, you won this match in the builder for sure. Like, I won game 2 handily, but you won in the builder.
Well, game 2, to be honest, you guessed right like 4 times in a row, because I was like, I could swap in the hog here, I could swap in the bird here, and it's like, if they target the hog slot, then the hog gets the counter buff and it kills something, but if it's the bird and they target the bird, then I don't get tempo. And it was like, I swapped hog, bird, Surges, bird, or hog, or some order like that, and you guessed right every single time, and I couldn't get the kill I needed, and then you ran away for the game. I was like, no!
Yeah, and then just Hopra getting low, I think, was my big issue. It's like, I needed to be able to get it back on the field, and the problem is I had to worry about the Surgus so much, because it's like, well, it can come in and click cut shot on the turn I want a torch pass.
Yeah, the thing is, I think if you're running one attacker, you need like 2 torch passers to really keep that thing going.
You know, the funny thing is that Diggum was an attacker here. The Digum has 26 points in Spirit Attack.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the Cook, I saw the Cook calcs, I was like, wait, why is this doing like 30 damage to front row Waddle?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unfortunately just wasn't quite enough. I considered running, like, a bunch of Spirit Attack on the Noisard as well, but ended up deciding better to bring Rally here because I didn't think your Rally Beasties were coming, and then they did.
Yeah.
And Rally would really help against the Tort Anchor.
Yeah. So what I was really banking on for what I was really scared of for your team is I was scared of Cyclone Hydrome, which is why I brought tons of things that don't buff and just do Jazzed front row, because the Jazz damage will stick even if they get Cyclone
I didn't bring Cyclone because I'm like, there are two quick setters on this team.
Yep. And then there's
Cyclone does not affect Jazz.
Yep. I did not bring any redirection because I was expecting your Noiser to have Raw Fury to shut down Tort Anchor, Mighty Yell.
I very much considered it. I didn't even think about Mighty Yell actually, but I
Raw
ended up
Fury
going
would
with,
have been really good against the Introduce as well.
Yeah, Noisard. I need to get really good with playing with this thing, I think, because I think the Stinky Rattle Annoying combination is actually kind of crazy. I think it put in so much work in game 2, and for the first half of game 3, besides the point that I just immediately lost, like it was doing a good job. The problem is it just didn't quite make progress.
Yeah, that was the thing, is your progress was your whole thing was getting the Hopper onto the board to kill, and if the Hopper wasn't on the board, if I could get 2 things to the front, it was difficult to make progress against it.
I think I was hoping that Digum could do more damage. I just didn't really think about the fact that your team is so momentum based. And you're switching constantly because you have something in the front row at all times, so I'm not gonna get that sideways move off.
Yeah, I think Reach Shot was a little rough just because of the Waddle. I was actually expecting a Stomp Drum Masquery is what I was really scared of, because Waddle has lowered body defense, and that was partially why I went body everything. And then I was expecting the Boulder Rocket to be anti-redirection, but also do more damage to Waddle in the front row. So I was expecting that for sure. I was also scared you were going to go for that same start you did against Bullrex in your game, where you had Boulder Crabberay. And that's specifically why I ordered Hog, Waddle, and Supalero, because if I saw those two were next to each other, I was going to start Supalero or Waddle Serve to get the crab out, so the setup wouldn't work, and then I can get to the front and quick setter or quick swap or introduce later.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that one I think was very fine-tuned to specifically Bullrex's team. I'm not sure that would really work all that well against yours, considering you're running Rally, and it's like once you get Rally up, the Boulder that's running Mind is next to useless.
Yep. If I didn't watch that game, I would never expected that. If you brought that, it would have absolutely got me if I didn't see it happen.
It's such a fun combination. I'm so glad I found it.
Yeah. I found, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll leak another tech I found, just because I don't realistically see myself ever popping it off in a game.
Fair.
If you go Tort Anchor Supalero and you do Supalero's other trait, I mean, it could be the Confident, and then you go Shanty. If you trait swap Shanty onto Demolish and you spam Demolish, you reset all terrain and reset your drum to 5, because it destroys the terrain and then sets it for you.
That's so fascinating.
So I wanted to, because then what you could do is you could have the other trait which buffs your body attack and defense, and then you can constantly trait swap that to buff. Yeah. But
that's spicy.
I tried that my first game against Reverie, and it really almost cost me, but I was also expecting them to go like, Dread and not 4 Clearfield users. That match was terrifying. I was not ready for the 4 Clearfield sweat spam.
Yeah. If there's one thing I wish I had on my team, it was a heat up user, and I just don't have a heat up user.
Yeah, the sweat would have been really good.
Yeah, I mean, you wiped the floor with me in the builder this week, so good games overall. Not much I could do there.
Yeah, I think another funny thing, I was almost bringing Toppler on my Surges, because I was expecting maybe some cheers for Masquery or some buffing for Masquery. But
yeah, that would have been fun. Yeah, but either way, I know you have to get going soon. Next week, you are up against... You are up against Balamar. That's going to be an interesting one.
Oh, is that next week?
That's next week. You got to fight the Mind Team with Rally, but also there's a Ricklash and a Burst Light in there.
Yeah, so it's funny because I seen Balamar say that they're not afraid of Rally. And I'm questioning, even though it looks like the best team to bring Rally to, it's like, do I really want to bring Rally to that team? Because, yeah, it helps against
hey, don't give it away yet.
Yeah, the Brosselin, I don't know. I mean, I could just pull up with some of the weirdest thing you've ever seen in your life out of that team. Part of the reason I drafted the way I drafted is because I wanted to be able to do weird, unexpected things and not necessarily
and you certainly can. You like the Waddle Supalero core is just so good at sticking around on the field.
Yeah, and it's just constantly
problems.
juggling introduces, being able to switch to anything. That's why sideways pressure is so important, because you can just switch to anything in sideways. Yep. And then the other really fun combo, which I talked about in my second game, so I don't mind saying it here as well, is if you go Dugout Zephyr, right, and the same thing to an extent with Surgis, you have to guess, do I attack that slot or not? Because if you attack the Dugout, the counter Overhog does so much damage. If you don't attack the Zephyr, then the Blaze Air Blast, it's a 50-50 on defense, which I think is fascinating. But yeah, anyways, I do gotta go.
Yep. Thank you so much, and good luck next week.
For sure. Good luck with yours. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, of course.
Jeez. Take care. Bye.
And to anyone watching, thank you so much for sticking around. This has been week 3. If you haven't watched week 1 or 2, those are super fun. So go check those out. And have a good time zone.